Be yourself, King. Should be yourself. And really the greatest thing that you could be is to be yourself.
God created you on purpose for a purpose. And this is the space where you're created for who you're meant to be. This is the Ike Inspiration podcast. And today I have an awesome guest named Corey. And Corey is a YouTuber. He works in Google. And he's just a phenomenal content creator, and he's one of my favorite creators on YouTube, and he's happened to be based in Atlanta just like me. And I'm honored to have him on the platform and discuss what life is like as a YouTuber and his overall content journey. So thank you, Corey, for coming on, man, and taking the time to speak with us.
Hey, man, I appreciate you for reaching out to have me on. Looking forward to a great conversation of authenticity and just walking through the journey, you know?
Yeah. So how did you start your content creation journey?
Man, honestly, I've always been a creative. So I would say it started off with me just, for one, when I got to college, I joined a fraternity, and then they needed like photos and stuff like that. So I started taking photos and stuff like that for the fraternity. And then that just kind of grew interest in like working with cameras and things like that. And then when I first started my job, like outside of college, one of my managers gave me a camera that was just laying around in their house. So I took it, and then I realized like 4 months passed and it was just collecting dust. So I was like, you know something, let me just try it out, turn it on, create videos and things like that, because I love watching YouTube videos. So I was like, I'm just turning it on and hit record and edit, chop it up and see what happens. And that's really how I got started into like creating from that point on. But it's crazy how far times have went, because it was a Nikon D3300, didn't have a flip screen, didn't have autofocus. I had to focus on a book, then move the book, then get in front of the screen. It was a lot. So I couldn't see myself. So as soon as I hit record, it was just it. But yeah, that's really how I got started. I started just creating in college, and then it kind of stuck with me, and then I kind of had that creative bone ever since then.
Yeah, man. So I do YouTube. I've created a few YouTube channels, and the primary one I work on is my podcast. But there's a lot that goes into YouTube. There's the research, there's the brainstorming, there's the editing aspects of it, there's the filming, and I know you do a lot of like lifestyle using photography and like and angling videos. What would you say for you is like the hardest part and like perhaps like the most challenging part about YouTube?
I would say for me, the hardest part about YouTube is just keeping up, man. I feel like, as you know, there's a lot of creators, a lot of people. I think they said it's like over 3 billion videos drop on YouTube a day, something like that. So it's just like keeping up with the times, whether it's like now they have shorts, and I'm a long form guy, so I have to adapt shorts. And then it's just like, and really educate yourself as you go, because I don't think there's a such thing as being a perfect content creator, but I do think there's a such thing as being a content creator that's aware of what's going on. So I just make sure that I'm always up to date of new features, what's going on, whether I need to update my camera or not, which at this point I try not to, because it's just a rolling thing for me. But yeah, I would say really just continue to educate myself on what's going on and how I can continue to show up on the platform. For one, staying true to myself and being authentic, but also how do I just keep up with what's going on?
Yeah,
it's a lot.
Yeah, man, I feel like that's personally one of the hardest things about YouTube that I see a lot of creators struggle with, even me to an extent. And this is basically like this balance of being yourself versus like being trendy. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, if we're being honest, a lot of the times, like when you do content that you truly enjoy, like those tend not to get the most views. But me personally, I actually like when content creators do like the more like, I don't know how to say, more of the heartful stuff and less of the like algorithmic stuff. I can kind of tell. Right. But those don't get the views. But I'd be one of the few people who be watching those. But then you do some BS, I don't know, some car trendy or flashy thing, then everyone like what I'm talking about, man. How do you balance that, bro? Because it's a weird thing, man, where honestly most YouTubers don't talk about their personal life as much because it doesn't get the views. But I enjoy that type of content and conversations, and other people do,
Right.
but
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think honestly, I just do what makes me happy. And what makes
Mm,
me happy is, giving advice, showcasing my lifestyle, while also being true and authentic to myself. Because I know my journey to get where I'm at now didn't start. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't think I would be where I am now, looking back where I was. But to me, it's just all about making sure that I'm happy with the content and not really trying to go with the trends, because honestly, if someone look at my channel, it's not really trendy. It's not
yeah,
like I'm not doing any trendy type videos. So speaking to your point, like a lot of people always are like, I think you should have way more views than what you get, but technically my videos isn't geared to get a lot of views. It's geared to cater towards people that want to actually hear what I'm saying and view my lifestyle. Honestly, if I did want to get a lot of views, I know what to do,
yeah,
but that's just not my forte. So, and that wouldn't make me happy. Like, I enjoy sharing tidbits that I've learned throughout life, and giving advice and doing my lifestyle videos from there. But yeah, I think it's a hard balance to play, because some people, you kind of want to be at a place where you have a good balance. You can
yeah,
do a little bit of trendy, you can do a little bit of what makes you happy. And I feel like I'm at a comfortable space where I truly want to just continue to do what makes me happy and what allows me to create freely and authentically. So it's a hard balance, man. It is a
yeah,
hard balance. And
yeah,
nowadays, lifestyle channels don't really get a lot of, views.
yeah,
It's just more
yeah,
so of like especially with the more the years go on,
yeah.
the more younger people are coming on to YouTube, and the younger people aren't looking at me, 33 years old, talking about like, hey, this what you should do in your 20s, and this what you.
Yeah,
They're looking at the glitz and the glam type videos and the
yeah,
and the streamers and stuff like that. So
yeah.
you kind of gotta think
You know,
about think about it from a different perspective.
it's wild, bro. The trends of life, bro. Like, cause even like the lifestyle trend, for example, like that was like 6, 7, 8 years ago. That was like kind of like the thing, bro. Like the lot, I felt like everyone was lifestyle vlogging, and to be honest, it kind of irked me a little bit because I'm like, man, I hate when things become trendy because it kind of comes
Mhm.
off corny to me. But then now it's crazy. Now like the hot thing is streaming, bro, and like they're
Yeah,
almost like the new rappers, bro. These guys are
yeah,
just
they're
getting
getting
paid
crazy.
like crazy. Yeah,
All
yeah,
kind of deals, craziness. So I mean, yeah, I feel like that's one thing I haven't adopted yet. Live streaming, I'm like,
yeah.
that's not my forte
I
yet.
don't
But
see
maybe
like
one day I'll try it. But
yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
From a
Yeah,
lifestyle perspective.
yeah, yeah, but I mean, the way some of these people do with it, I don't know, man. Hats off to them, but it ain't for me. But but the world is
Mhm.
constantly growing and evolving, so that's dope,
Right.
man. And so Corey, well, another thing that's cool that I found fascinating about you, and I also would like to dive into, is just like your corporate background. I think you do a good job of carrying yourself as a black man male, talking about what life is like in the corporate world. I feel like this is a conversation that doesn't get talked about enough. I'm a pharmacist too, and right now I have the pleasure of working from home, but I've also worked in some corporate industries, and and navigating that has always been an interesting thing for me. I would love to talk
Right.
to you about that, man. How you work at Google right now? What's that like for you, man?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, working at a big company like Google is it has its pros, of course.
Yeah.
Um, and I feel like Google's probably been one of the best companies that I've worked for in the corporate space.
Mm.
Just due to like the perks we have, the in office perks we have, and things like that. So I haven't really been in a space where I feel like it was challenging to go to work, show up, and be myself. I think every team that I've worked with and people that I work with truly come in and show up as themselves. Like, I go to work with this on, I'm not, putting on a suit or tie or anything like
Yeah.
that. So it really allows me to, come in, be myself, and be true to who I am. So I really do, like Google for creating that atmosphere where people just come in, wear what you want, as long as you get your work done. Nobody's like really on you about, your work. So I do like that flexibility. I do think the challenging part about working at a large company is there's so many different chains and layers of leadership. There's a lot of red tape. Before something get approved, it go through 5-6 layers of approval. So sometimes that can, prolong my day-to-day tasks, depending on what I'm tasked to do, to have to get. So, well, for you all that's on the channel, I'm a recruiter. So a lot of times I'm talking to candidates, I'm extending offers. And a lot of times before we can extend offers, it has to be approved and go through all these layers of approval before I'm even able to extend offers. So sometimes that holds up the process. But other than that, I think that's a challenge with a lot of bigger companies anyway. It's just the red tape. But it's been a good time so far.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and you mentioned you're a recruiter, which is interesting because you're a recruiter for like a big brand company, which I think a lot of people would like to have. And first of all, what is it like being a recruiter, and how did you get into it? Because honestly, like I've networked with recruiters because everyone's trying to get a job, but I've never actually like talked to them and be like, "Yo, what's your life like, bro?" We're all just usually, you just talking, "Yo, like what job is there?" Blah. You know how you work, you know the conversations, like what you actually be doing, bro.
Yeah. So I got into recruiting. Well, most people get into recruiting randomly. You just fall into it. You don't really know much about how to get into it. So when I graduated from University of South Carolina, graduated with a management degree, focused in hospitality management, went and worked at Walt Disney World on an internship for a little while, decided, wanted to take up like resort management or hotel management. So right after that, I went and tried the hotel management route, did not like it. So then I was like, dang, I got to do a whole career shift already, and end up being an admissions counselor at University of South Carolina, which is where I went to school. And that's technically a recruiter recruiting high school kids to, get admitted into university. So that's how I kind of got into recruiting. And then from there, stayed there 3 years, went and worked at Deloitte on a contract on their recruiting team as a coordinator, stayed there for 6 months, moved to Accenture, campus recruiter for 3 years, moved to Google, and I've been there. So that's kind of how I got started. But honestly, the role of a recruiter is it's very relational. It's about building relationships. It's about owning your clients, and our clients is who we call our candidates, and then also who we're hiring for. So even though I'm technically hiring for Google, I'm also assigned to different what we call product areas. So it could be Google Cloud, it could be marketing, it could be sales. So my client is actually marketing right now. So I'm recruiting on behalf of the marketing team to get creatives and stuff like that to come to Google for some of their projects. So the role in itself is making sure that you're aligned with what the client needs, what their hiring goals are, what the role entails. So you kind of have to get updated on a lot of things. Outside of that is building relationships with potential candidates and candidates for those roles. So I'm the main point of contact from point A to start date. So I'm working with candidates from the applicant pool all the way up until interviews, all the way up until offer, all the way up into negotiations. And then as soon as the start date hit, I'm no longer part of the process. So that's really what it is in a nutshell. There's a lot of nuances in it, but to round things up,
you're helping people get like 6-figure jobs in the tech field, or is it like what industry? I'm just kidding,
when I first started, I worked in early career. So I worked primarily with college students trying to get a job. So I worked on some of our big programs like the Associate Product Management Program, Associate Product Marketing Program, Technical Program Management, a lot of those programs. Then at the beginning of the year, I moved to what we call a GBO team, which is the General Business Operations. So you could think of roles like account managers, account executives, performance specialists, analytical leads, things like that. So those were more so industry hiring. So I wasn't really hiring like college students at that point. So then recently, as of like 2 weeks ago, I moved to a marketing recruiting team. So that's kind of new to me in this area. So I'm trying to get ramped up into like the type of roles and things like that as well. So, but yeah, once you know recruiting, you can kind of keep going. It's just learning the profiles, the clients, and things like that. That takes
Yeah.
the most time for sure.
As a recruiter, man, I'm curious to hear like your take on the job market and how people navigate that, because life happens, bro. Life is life, and
Mm,
things happen.
right,
People lose
right.
jobs. People. I have friends and family who these things happen, bro. And then every once and then, someone will pop up on my YouTube feed, and you just see like a viral video of like I lost my job and then blah blah. I'm sure you might have seen it.
Right,
I'm curious,
right.
bro. Like, and then when I talk to my friends about the current job market, I'm grateful to have a great job that I enjoy, but it seems like it's super hard, man. Like finding a job can literally take people like weeks, months, like for however long, bro. For As a recruiter, bro, like what's that like helping another person to get a brand new job, and how do you help them? How would you say, you got advice for helping people navigate jobs? Because for some people it's like the hardest thing in the world, bro. Like you know what I'm saying, and they don't know where to start, bro. They apply for hundreds, and they apply for hundreds and thousands of jobs only to be ghosted. It's
Yeah,
difficult.
that's true. I mean, it is a tough market right now. Um, and yeah, like you said, layoffs and things like that. I mean, I didn't survive maybe 3 layoffs at
So
Google right now. And one layoff, my manager got laid off, so I got switched to another manager. So it just ebbs and flows. But I will say, even though the market is crazy, and it's crazy because everybody is looking. The people that
yeah,
currently have a job is trying to find another job. The people
yep.
that don't have a job is trying to find a job. The people internal is trying to apply to internal job. So it's just like it's a season where everyone is looking for an opportunity, which makes it difficult to find an opportunity. But my advice I always tell people is make sure the small things are as perfect as possible. And now the small things is the resume. It shouldn't have any errors. It should, I mean, Chat GPT and Gemini help you out with what you need to put in there. So
Facts.
the resume should be,
Facts.
at least good there. And that's the very, very start. The issue now is your resume being reviewed by someone in staffing. Um, I'm at the point in my career where I typically don't review resumes for people to get into the process. We have a separate team that kind of looks
Yeah.
at resumes, send them my way, and I do like a second pass to make sure that they meet the qualifications and need to be looked at by a hiring manager. But um, a lot of times, especially in industry type roles, I'm gonna just assume that we're talking about people that as well past their college years, have some experience. You have to be an expert in your field in order to get the best opportunities. So if let's say you're applying to an account manager role, a lot of times hiring managers want to see that you have had account management experience for at least 3 to 4 years consistently, and you have metrics and you have proven data to back up your impact and your experiences that can also help the company. And in this
Mm-hmm.
sense, let's say Google, and then they want to make sure that, okay, this person did this at this company. Oh, they achieved their metrics by 100%. Oh, they want to really see that you are an impact player, so they can take that chance on you to interview. And I think that's where a lot of people mess up on the resume. It's a lot of bullet points that's very general. It's like led this
Mm.
team or led this or impacted this, instead of saying, hey, I led this particular team, and by me leading this team, X, Y, and Z happened, and that resulted in X, Y, and Z. And it's
Mm.
those things really help as far as like getting your resume past the initial stages for sure. But yeah, like I said, it is a tough market for sure.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. If you had to give like, because there's so much to talk about in the job market. There's the networking side of it. There's the resume creating side of it. There's the interviewing side of it. If you
Mhm.
had to give like one piece of advice for those who may be seeking out for a job, like what's the most important thing to focus on to get your foot in the door? What would you say? As a recruiter yourself.
Yeah, I would say two things: one, networking, and two is the initial resume.
Yeah.
Those are the main things, because a lot of times opportunities go to people that know people, or people
Yeah.
that happen to be, like, I know several times when I've been hiring, I'm like, oh, I know this person was looking for a job and they're in this industry. Let me see if they're interested in applying.
Yeah.
So I think that's really it. It's like knowing the right people, whether it's a hiring manager or some type of recruiter can definitely help. And then again, that resume is like truly showing impact on the resume, not just general bullet points to showcase like a job description, but more so of you. How did you make an impact at your current job, and was it consistent? Because a lot of times people apply to jobs. 1 year they was at another company, the next year they had another company, 2 years before that they was at another company. They really want to see like consistency, and you can bring that consistency and that impact into the company. But we could talk all day about that, but then after that you gotta think about like the interview process, how you show up there. So
Bro, I'm telling you, trust me, bro. I used to have a side business where I was literally helping pharmacists get remote jobs, and I wasn't necessarily a recruiter, but I was literally dealing with all this stuff. So I could talk about it for days, bro. But another thing with you, Corey, is like, you got a lot going on. I know you got your personal life. I'm sure I know you're a family person. Then you got your content creation. You got you just talked about recruiting, and like this is a lot, man. Like, and then life just comes in waves and flashes. Like, what's it like balancing everything, and how do people find balance to continuously be sustainable in everything they do? Because like, man, like once you start growing up as an adult, bro, like there's just so much like that you gotta upkeep. Like, for example, you gotta upkeep your body. If you're very spiritual like I am, gotta upkeep your relationship with God. If you have a girlfriend or a wife, you gotta upkeep that. You got a job now, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? This kind of you got bills to pay. You gotta keep going, and there's so much upkeep, bro. You got YouTube, you gotta post once a week, or how do people do that? And what's that like balance? What does that balance look like for you?
Yeah. Balance to me is something that always evolves and change over time. Because like you said, you might be a family person, you might have a kid, you might be, content creation, you might be a hybrid creator. So it's a lot of factors that play into like balance. But for me personally, I think I kind of tier things by category. So I have my tier ones. My tier ones is, what do I need to do to keep the lights on in my house and to make sure that I have my bills covered? And for me, that's my 9 to 5 and content creation. So those things are priority because those are what's bringing me like revenue and income. Cool. So I make sure that I make time for those and make sure that I have a set schedule for those. So since those are my tier ones, I know I have my 9 to 5. And then if I have any like content creation, editing, brand deals and things like that, I make sure my calendar is blocked to adhere to those. Outside of that, of course, it's family, friends, fun, travel, all of that. But I think the best thing to balance is prioritizing the things that truly matter. For one, that's a necessity. That's a true necessity. And also, two, is doing the things that makes you happy, so you can show up the best person as possible for the things that's in your tier one.
For sure.
So usually in my tier two, it's the things that make me happy. So that's friends, family, traveling, listening to music, like make sure I have my me time. Yeah. So tier one and tier two, I make sure that I have that locked down. Anything outside of that, it's like a maybe. I might can do it. Let me squeeze it in. But that balance is hard. And I think it's one thing that, is going to change over time, and you have to give yourself grace. You can't burn out. You can't allow yourself to burn out. You got to listen to your body, listen to your mental, because as soon as you start to burn out, you become no good to yourself, but also the things that's in your tier one and tier two. So you got to be kind of vigilant of those things. But to me, it's all about keeping that calendar. I like, if it's not in my phone, I can't do it.
It's crazy, bro. Like how part of adulting is the calendar, bro. The Google Calendar is literally like my everything, bro. Like if this podcast wasn't scheduled in, bro, I might have forgotten. I would have done it. Like, I scheduled. That's
why I have your podcast on here. I'm like, if it's not on the calendar, I'm not thinking about it.
It's crazy, bro. Like, and like, and when you become an adult, bro, like friendship change too. Like, for example, I got some friends who are getting married, and like now I gotta put that in the calendar. Yo, bro, come to my marriage on like 2 months from now, that October 12th at 3
Yeah,
p.m. You know what I'm saying? And
gotta lock it in.
it's time management, you know. And then I know you mentioned music. Yeah, man. So I'm a DJ too, so I can talk music.
Oh,
I see Big Sean's album there too. And I was
yeah,
like, great.
yeah.
I freaking love that album, bro. You know, the songs like Boundaries, One Up. You can talk that too, man. But I feel you, man. Music, this is a lot, man. And so, you know, you talk about the balance of being a YouTuber and taking it all in. I'm curious. You know, you mentioned tier one is your 9 to 5, and then you also put your YouTube, and then because you know you gotta pay the bills, and then you mentioned streams of income. You know, what are the streams of income, if you don't mind me,
Yeah.
you know, because from 9 to 5, you know, everyone is familiar with that, like, okay, that's stable check. You know, we know what that's like, but you know. I feel like only YouTubers really know what their streams of income is like. What does it look like for you? And you know, you want to break that down?
Yeah. So with content creation, of course, well, on YouTube, I would say AdSense. That's one. I don't really bank too much on AdSense because it's a
Okay.
lot that's outside of my control.
Yeah.
So whatever happens there happens. I know I'll get a check at the end of the month, whatever that'll be. Outside of that, mainly brand deals, you
Okay.
know. So you know, partnering with and my goal is, and a lot of times people like, I don't even see you do too much brand deals. You'll do
Yeah,
something
me
every now
too.
and then.
Yeah, that's it. I was gonna ask you about that.
Because my strategy is long-term brand deals. So my strategy isn't
Mm.
like the brand deals that you have to continue to do in each video. My
Oh,
brand deals, like last year I had a year-long partnership with CVS. This year I have a year-long
cool.
partnership with Upwork. So it's just
Dope.
like I try to lock in a year-long partnership with at least one brand, so I know
Yeah.
exactly what's coming in, and then the rest is just sporadic. So if somebody reach out or a brand reach out, I can make that decision like, I might do it, I
Yeah.
might not. And then after that, it was probably be affiliate marketing, but I don't like affiliate marketing, so I
Okay.
don't really focus on too much of affiliate marketing. So
Got
I
you.
would say mainly brand deals,
And
AdSense, and then affiliate marketing.
marketing. Gotcha. And interesting, man. The brand deal one is actually really interesting because you know I've watched a few of your YouTube videos. I've literally never seen. I was like, I've never seen you like brand, because most YouTubers like they'll brand it in like an annoying way where it's like, oh man, I know 1 minute of my time is about to be wasted, but I fuck with this dude, so whatever, I watch it. Like, you know, but with you, I feel like you don't do that, and I think there's probably some benefits to it because you're respecting the audience time, but you're still able to maintain that relationship. I never even heard of that. Usually I'm always associating brand deals with like, it's just like a one-time thing, or like you make your quick work off, but you seem to be handling it in like an interesting way that works for you and the audience.
Yeah, I think my issue with brands is sometimes they want you to be something that you're not, or they
Okay.
want you to integrate their product in a way that seems disruptive to me. So I
Mm.
always think about it from the audience lens. Like I don't want to, like, I don't, like you said, I don't want to be looking at a video and be like, bam, you got to
Yeah.
get this product because this, that. So even when I do have brand deals on my channel, it's integrated so seamless to the point where it's not disruptive to like my
Yeah.
audience. So I would never do a brand deal where they require me to do a full video on a product or the brand. I only
Yeah.
sign up for integration brand deals. So I'll be like, hey, I can give you 1 minute in this video, maybe two, but
Yeah.
I'm not doing a full video on a particular product because that's
Not
just
you.
not my
Yeah.
speed. Yeah.
That's hard, bro. That's hard. I didn't even know about that, but definitely gotta think about that. That's really cool that you can do brand deals. Like, I didn't even know that was like a thing. Because it's never really, from the audience perspective, it's never really like presented like that. Well, I'm curious, like, what's your relationship with CVS and Upwork? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so last year, CVS, it was a year-long partnership where um, it was like I would have to do an integration video. So like in one of my vlogs, I'll do an integration of a product that most likely I got from CVS. And then all I had to do is kind of talk a little bit about CVS, put in a coupon code, and then boom. So that was an easy integration because it's already like a vlog. So if I'm already like cleaning dishes and I'm using, I don't know, Myers scrub soap or something like that, then that's an easy integration that I feel like isn't disruptive. So that was like a year-long partnership, but they actually reached out to me and then it just turned into a year-long partnership.
Word.
Upwork that took a little bit longer. So I've been reached out to Upwork a couple of times to do some random user-generated content on their YouTube channel. So I actually don't have to post nothing. Everything that I send to them, it goes to their YouTube channel. So you can look up Upwork right now. You'll see a couple of my videos on their channel. So those went well. And then they reached out and say, hey, how about we just contract you for the year? Anytime we need a video on our YouTube channel that fits like a good category that you can speak authentically about, we'll reach out to you and we'll pay you this amount to give it to us. So I was like, all right, cool. Well, I'll be on retainer. Shoot.
Yeah, that's hard.
So it just came from just building that relationship and then putting out quality with them.
Well, that's cool. Wait, so like, is it like I'm just curious? You want mind walking us through like how like that goes? Like, did they say like, oh, like we need you to talk about like I don't know, like Google or like tech? I don't know, like what is that like? Because that's cool. Like that, I mean, it sounds interesting.
Yeah. So their platform is mainly about freelancing and, allowing like business owners to freelance to get some type of contract work, things like that. So a lot of their topics is very work related, not me personally, but it could be like the top AI proof jobs. So I'll just have to make a video script on the top AI proof jobs. And they'll kind of give me an outline and I'll fill in the script based on like my voice and how I want to record it. To kind of do a little bit of research on some of those jobs, and then they'll be like, hey, we want it between like 5 to 6 minutes. And I'll be like, all right, cool. And then usually they ask for a short form video as well that they can post on like shorts or something. And then we go from there. So cool. So yeah, it's pretty cool to do user generated content because I don't have to worry about it going on my channel. So I'm just like, y'all can do whatever y'all want with this.
Yeah, and obviously, like I don't think your audience would want to watch that. Like I mean, exactly. So that's cool, man. But it's still a little way for you to be creative while getting paid and like doing something. Because I would love if I had an opportunity, I would definitely like explore that. That sounds cool, man.
Yeah, I always try to aim for like user generated content. It's not that I don't want to post on my channel, but it's like the ball is in their court once you give it to them. So it's like you don't have to worry about this video didn't get this many views. Click on this link. It's just like, here you go, give me my money.
Nah, that's hard, man. Super interesting, man. Yeah, because with content creators, obviously we know about brand partnerships, but you don't really hear about the intricacies or like how it's done or like what it's like. It just looks like a giant ad being thrown to us, and it's like, oh, okay, like what? Man.
I mean, the ladies are killing content creation, man. They getting the money, they getting the bag.
with the beauty supplies, I would imagine. I know that's awesome. Yeah.
All that like lifestyle, clothing, fashion, hair. They are getting money, and they don't even have to have that many subscribers or followers. It's just. They just it's not the same for us men.
Shout out to the females, bro. I know on Instagram too. There's a hot market for the lifestyle and beauty supply content. But I'm not gonna lie, I'll be like the last person to know. No, bro. I do know they be making bank though for sure, bro. Yeah. So another thing that I also wanted to touch on with you, man, is just I'm curious. And you don't have to go too much into it if you're not, but do you have a personal relationship with God or a faith in a higher power? Because when I watch some of your videos, you seem spiritually grounded. I don't know where that's where it's coming from. I don't think you talk about it too much, but there's a spiritual sense to you that I get, and I'm curious about them.
I do believe in God, Jesus Christ, man.
Yes, sir.
Crazy thing is, when I grew up, I didn't grow up in a household where we had to be at church every single Sunday and things like that. But my mom would always instill in me the importance of having a relationship with God and make sure that you build that on your own,
Yeah.
terms. So she never like forced me to like dive into the Bible or be in church every Sunday. But I did know like once I became adult, I do want to continue to build my foundation with God, strengthen my relationship as well. So me, my girlfriend, we go to church every Sunday. Try
Mhm.
to, at least we have a church home here. We go to,
Which
I
one?
don't know if you ever heard of Live Atlanta.
What, bro? That's the one I go to.
Yeah, we be
Wait,
at
get
Live
out of here,
Atlanta.
bro. That's
Yep.
the church I go to. Are you?
Pastor Mayo.
Yeah, Pastor Mayo. Wait, get out of
Yeah,
here,
and
bro. I was
Kai
there just
and
this Sunday.
Kevin. And
Yeah,
yeah,
Kevin East, Warren. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
actually trying
yeah.
to get Kevin on my podcast. He said he would do it. Yo, get out of here. Small world, man. Which service do
Yep.
you
So
go to?
we
Wait.
usually go to the very beginning, 9 o'clock.
Okay, I got you. I go to 10:30. That's probably why I don't see you. But
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
crazy.
We go to the 9 o'clock service,
Small
but
world, man. My fault. That's
so
crazy.
yeah, but yeah, so yeah, like you said in my videos, I try to do little nuggets, but I don't want to,
Yeah,
come off too strong with because some people, may not be a follower of Christ,
yeah.
and might deter their ability to watch the videos. But I do try to instill some nuggets in here and there for sure.
Yeah, nah, well, yeah, and I mean, and I think you do a good job of not like forcing it or being too
Yeah,
preachy. Like, I think honestly, like sometimes I just think you let your actions speak for yourself, and that's why I said like
exactly.
it seems
Right.
like I don't know I can just tell by the way you move, like the way you kind of talk. I was like, oh, this guy sound, you know what I'm saying, and your actions to me speak a lot more than like what you're actually saying, and I think that's
Mhm.
important, more important, Yeah.
Exactly. So that's my motto. I always believe in action speaks louder than words. So in
Yes,
my
sir.
videos, I'm gonna show by action. I'm gonna say a little something, but hopefully my action and how I carry, my life and things like that pours into other people as well.
Yeah, but it like I love to say faith without works is dead, man.
Mm. Mhm.
Yeah, man, I love that, man. You, yeah, it stumped me, but I would have never guessed you said you went to Live ATL because that's like a small church, bro. Yo, first, how did you find that church, bro? And also, what's it like going to yeah? What's your church experience been like in Atlanta? Have you been to other churches?
Yeah. So it was a coworker of mine at work that told me about it. So one of her best friends and husband go there as well. So I checked it out one Sunday. Like I said, small church, and I was like, everybody seemed happy here. It's
Yeah,
it's not pressure. It's very free. Even when this year when we did the movie night, was you there for
yeah,
the movie
yeah,
night?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah,
That's
we had
wild. Yeah,
popcorn and coke, and
yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is
This is
cool.
hard.
So so ever since then, I fell in love with going there. My second, if I didn't make it to Live, it would probably be something closer to where I'm at.
Mm.
So I've gone to Linked Up. I don't know if you ever heard of Linked Up, but
No,
Linked
no,
Up is a good one as well. I've tried Change Church as well a couple
yeah,
times.
I know Victory and Change are like some of the bigger,
Yeah,
more popular churches. I tried Victory. Wasn't for me, but I saw the appeal. But with Live, the thing I liked about Live was like you said, there's no pressure, and it was at the time it's relatively small, but because it's such a good church now, it's just growing and growing, and it's just getting more popular. But then I also liked how like I felt like they just did creative things like that weren't conventional to church, but to me was still representing God. Like you're watching movies like at church. Like I think that's unconventional, but I think they do a good way of like adding this, this the aspects of it, and
right,
you know what I'm saying. I love to see that. And then in
right.
addition to that, bro, this was like the first time I went to church where I saw so many young people who were really into God, bro. I never saw that.
Same,
I
same.
usually go to church and like I came from Boston, so there's it's like a wider population and older. And it's just like I was either in like a Nigerian church where everyone's just older, or like a white church and it's just like a bunch of old white people and they're all like into God, and that's cool. But I never seen like a younger, more black, diverse crowd like into that. So that was like I was like, man, this is hard.
It's a good church, and and even just like just Pastor Mayo's story, I think that's like a true showcase a true, authentic story of like, you come from this and then you end up being this. It's not always linear. It's like
Yeah.
paths to get to where you are. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah, no, he's hard, man. Yeah, so Pastor Man is hard, and then it's a great church, man. So yeah, great small world, bro. I literally would never
We
expect.
probably gonna see each other all the time now.
Yeah, bro. No, yeah, no. We'll link up after, bro. Literally, I would have. I thought you were gonna say like, cause Liv is brand new, so I didn't think you say that. But small world, bro. See how we're connected, man. Things work for a reason. I wanted to also touch on just life outside of just Live ATL. Like the other thing that drew me to you, man, is you're in Atlanta. I've been in Atlanta. How long have you been in Atlanta for? I've been here for about 3-4 years.
About 6-7 years now.
Yeah, yeah, and I feel like part of your content is just talking about like your lifestyle in Atlanta and what's that like. Since you moved here, like, what's it been like for you? The pros, the cons, and how you
Yeah,
liking it.
man. It changed. I didn't want to move to Atlanta. Atlanta wasn't on my list. I was supposed to be in Charlotte, but the job that I got was like, oh, we gave this role to somebody already in Charlotte. So if you open, you could take the role in Atlanta, which was that contract role I was talking about. I was like, I'm on a contract. I got to move to Atlanta. They ain't paying for housing or nothing. So I was
What?
like, I'm going to just take a leap of faith. Came down here, lived with my cousin on an air mattress for a couple of months and got my feet out there and stacked up, got my apartment within about 6 months, and it was uphill from there. But I do think Atlanta grew on me. I didn't expect to be here this long. Once I got here, I was like, oh, it's a lot of stuff to do here. Everything that I heard about Atlanta, it wasn't at least I wasn't in those communities. So it wasn't that bad. So I was like, I see the crime on TV, but I don't be around no crime. I mean,
Yeah.
But I did make sure that I experienced as much as I could, because I'm in Atlanta. At the time I was single. I was like, I'm gonna go out, experience the world. I'm gonna go to some parties. I'm gonna go to some clubs. I'm gonna go to some bars. I'm experience the full Atlanta while I'm here, and then get to a point to where I'm like, okay, I'm ready for sure, lock in. So it's been love. I like it. I enjoy it. It's a lot of things to do. I like how it's multiple industries here, tech, movies, corporate. Like, it's a lot of things to do. And I love music. So we have a lot of music festivals, a lot of artists coming here. I love sports. So I love going to like the Atlanta Dream, Atlanta Hawks, Falcons, all that. So yeah, it's became home. I purchased my home out here, so I plan to stay here as long as Google decide to keep me here, or if there's another opportunity elsewhere that's better, I'll take it and leave. But it's been love.
Nah, man, I love the A, bro. There's so much to it for me, man. Like you mentioned, the music culture. I went to the Kendrick Lamar concert, dude. That was hard. That was hard. Outside of the music culture, for me personally, like, you're a perfect example of what I'm about to say, but I just love being in a place where it's normal to see Black people thriving. And for me, I came from Boston, and then I also moved to Philadelphia. And most of the places there, there was Black people, but they were usually in the bottom poor. They weren't doing as well. Over here, like, it's just everyone I talk to, everyone's just on the move, got something going on. They're all doing something relatively well, and it's inspiring, bro. Like, it makes me want to keep going and there's something I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I've spoken to some rappers and other DJs and artists who are from Atlanta on the podcast. There's something about Atlanta that makes me want to be creative. I don't know if you can relate to that.
It's that creative bone.
Yeah. Do you feel it, bro, or is it just me? Like, am I tweaking?
I feel the same way, man. I'm always looking for other ways to be creative too. Like, I love photography. I love videography. Heck, I got a DJ turntable. I'm trying to learn how to DJ myself. Yeah, so.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Maybe I could get some tips from you, because I don't know what I'm doing on that thing. But yeah, it is like you said. You go out and you see people doing all kind of creative stuff, and it pushes you to be like, dang, maybe I should pick up my camera and go do something too, or maybe I should try, like I said, DJing or something. But I don't know what it is about Atlanta that makes you.
Me either, bro.
Yeah,
I don't. I don't
New
get.
York is like that too, though. You go to New York
Yeah,
and you ready to take over the world.
I don't know what it is, bro, but something about Atlanta, because I've had a couple other people, creative people from Atlanta, same thing, bro. And I don't necessarily maybe it's the heat because I'm coming from up north, and maybe the heat just gets me like turned up. But since I came to Atlanta, bro, like I've been podcasting for like 2 years, and I'm like 80 episodes in. Do not see myself stopping. Like, I just want to keep doing this. And then I also just I think maybe the music scene, like I met other artists and like DJing kind of just happened naturally. I don't know what it is about Atlanta, bro. I'm a pharmacist, so like for me to even
Yeah,
get to this creative side, it's like a weird thing, but I love it though. Like, it's interesting, but I don't know what it is about Atlanta, but it just makes me want to like create, You
it's
too, man.
good to
There's a
have a
lot of
little
creators here.
creative bone. Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah,
good to have a little creative side on,
yeah.
because sometimes that's what brings you joy and happiness too.
Yeah, bro, and I mean, one of the things I feel like I've learned in life, bro. I don't know if you can attest to this, but I think it's really powerful. Is to kind of compartmentalize like your 9 to 5 of your creative endeavors, and essentially, like allow your 9 to 5 or whatever your main source of income to be primarily that, and then have like another thing, have other hobbies or part-time jobs or like side-time jobs that like is this is like what I do to create and be myself and express myself. I think having both of those is I think it's good, bro, honestly. you know
Yeah, yeah, very important because some people pour so much into their 9 to 5 that that's all they know and that's all they can do. And that's like, yeah, you get the money, but at the end of the day, it's taken away from you as a person. And, some people end up depressed and having mental
yeah.
breakdowns and things like that because they're working a 9 to 5 till 9 p.m., 8 p. Like, nah, I'm clocking, taking out 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock max.
Hmm.
I'm not working no later than that because I got other stuff I can focus on.
Yeah.
But also Google, at least the teams I worked on, kind of, make sure that we have a similar mindset. Like, hey, don't be. I see you online at 6. Get off. Like get off, King. So,
Yeah.
I'm glad that we have that culture too. But yeah, like you said, that's very important to have that balance.
Yeah, no, I mean, I mentioned it, bro, because for me personally, like when like, I think I think for a lot of people, when all you have is like your 9 to 5, like, or just one thing, like there's an unhealthy attachment that your identity becomes that. And so if you get laid off or you no longer have that, like outside of the financial burden, some people might have a psychological burden because it's like, man, who am I? Like, what do I do now? Where I feel like I love my job, but I feel like I'm not too attached to it because I have other things going on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so it's not. And I think this helps with everything too. Whether you're in a relationship, like if you just have like one thing, like maybe you're in a relationship with a girl and that's all you have. You don't have a job. You don't have a content creator. You're probably just gonna be obsessed with her. Yo, what are we doing? Blah 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 blah. And you're just kind of on her too much.
Time on your hands.
You know what I'm saying? But when you got a bunch of different things, like like obviously you don't want to lose anything, you want to maintain it, but you kind of become detached from like maybe your relationship or
Right.
your you know what I'm saying? So you're not like just obsessed with one thing. And yeah,
I completely agree.
yeah,
Because I'm the type of person where I like to do different things, like I'm one thing about me, I'm never going to attach my identity to something,
yeah,
I don't want to just be known like, oh, Corey, he work at Google. Oh,
yeah,
Corey, he's a content creator. I want people to, when they hear my name, it could go either way. It'd be like,
yeah,
oh, I know Corey as a content creator. Oh, I know Corey that work at Google. Oh, I know Corey that's in the Merchant 100 of Atlanta. Oh, I know Corey that, because it allows you to be more flexible, but it also allows you to tap into different spaces where you never know what'll happen. You never know. Like you said, you DJ and you beating artists, like you being
yeah,
a pharmacist, you never would have think that you would be able to do that, but it's cool.
yeah,
And it's
yeah,
cool and it's fun. So
yeah. And I mean, that was one of the things I recognized, like the multifacetedness in you. I think my favorite people are people who are multifaceted and just do a bunch of different things. And hence that's why I was so like, I'm like, man, I gotta get this guy on because I like two people who do that. And I feel like you're being led by your curiosity, which makes life a lot more enjoyable. You know what I'm saying?
right,
And
right.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people don't take enough risk, honestly. Like a lot of people stick within the box that has been formed for them instead of like tiptoeing out of that box, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
like for example, you went to school, you're a pharmacist. You could have stayed in that pharmacist box. You could just
Yeah.
be right there, pharmacist, every day. That's all you know. You're not taking risks to try to challenge yourself outside of what you know. And sometimes that's life's biggest blessing. It's like tapping
Yeah.
into different things. And it's like understanding like, yeah, I work a 9 to 5, but what if I want to go DJ, or what if I want to go be a photographer? What if I want to go travel the world? Like, what does that leap look like? And how can
Yeah.
I maintain my current lifestyle while exploring those things? Because some people take it for granted, but that's the freedom that we have to try to make sure that we can do those things.
And then it's interesting when you do these creative endeavors, this becomes a transformation in you internally and externally, where you start to meet people and you start to transform in a way that you can never imagine. And like for me, for an example, like doing this podcast, I've been introduced to some people from Atlanta that are just like me, bro. Then we hung out, we went to the Beltline, and like new relationships were formed and created. I would never have imagined. I didn't think from episode one, hey, I'm gonna meet this guy, and we're gonna get closer to God and whatnot. But even you, bro, I might probably see you at Live ATO. I had no clue, bro. But like, example, bro, I'll be
Yeah,
shocked if I don't see you at Live now. Like, you know what I'm saying?
that's
Like, but
that's
things
so true.
happen, bro, because of the result of a creative endeavor that you start to attract like-minded people. I think that's the beauty of life. I'm sure with your YouTube, you probably came across people that you would have never known that are like-minded. I would imagine, right?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, YouTube has awarded me so many different opportunities from connecting with people, being in spaces to connect with others. Like in 2019, I was selected for like the YouTube NextUp program. They flew us
Mm.
all out to Los Angeles. It was like 10 creators. I still keep up with a good bit of them today. 2022, I got selected to be a part of the Black Voices Fund. That was like 22 of us. And we had like a little cohort and then a graduation at the end. Like, it's like being in, like, I didn't think starting YouTube I'll be afforded these opportunities,
Yeah.
but you never, like I said, when you take that leap, you never know what opportunities or what things will come out of it to where you're like, dang, if I never started this, I wouldn't even have this experience.
Yeah. Then it becomes like a ripple effect of like one thing leads to another, then another thing leads to a thing. And I'm curious, like out of all the opportunities that you had, because you mentioned like the Black Voices, which is pretty interesting. Like, what was perhaps like the most interesting thing that came your way? Maybe it was a brand partnership deal, maybe a relationship with a friend. I don't know. I've heard stories where YouTubers met their wife at doing YouTube. Like, you know what I'm saying? What was the greatest thing that came out of doing YouTube for you?
The greatest thing that came out of YouTube for me, I would say the Black Voices Fund.
Okay,
Honestly, I
cool.
would say that because they gave us 50K. They said, hey, here's 50K to do whatever you want with. And I was like, I ain't never had this lump sum of money like this a day in my life. I don't know
They
what to do with it.
what?
They
Wait,
gave
real quick. They
each
gave you
one of us.
$50,000 to do what? To just for you or to do what? Like,
For us, we could get equipment. We could use it for if people wanted to go full time and they needed
what?
something to start themselves to go full time. Here's it go. I was
What
like, I didn't
the?
even know that was part of the program. I said, well, I'll take it though.
Wait, real quick, wait. Like, so they just give you $50,000 and you can do whatever you want, or like they expected you to like invest it all, like, or you literally just got 50,000, you can do whatever you want with it. Wow, that's wild, bro. I did
Yeah,
not
they
know.
broke it up. You got 25 at the beginning and then
Wow,
25 at the end,
that's
and
hard,
you
man.
do whatever you want. And I was like, damn, this is life changing right here because
That's
the
hard.
way I'm about to utilize this.
Yeah, that's hard. I did not know, man. Yeah. So what's that? What was that about? Like the Black Voices. Like what was the goal of that? How did you get invited? Why did they invite you? You know.
Yeah. So they was trying to invite like creators that was like on the rise, have been consistent on YouTube, that has been like pretty much making a difference on the platform, and they feel like voices need to be amplified. So they got a group of, I think it was like 22 of us in that cohort, but they had a music one and they had a regular one. But but all throughout the cohort, they had like different sessions, like twice a month, where we would meet with other people at YouTube to give us like different tips and stuff like that. We were given a strategic partner manager at YouTube to help us go over like analytics and things like that. They would put us like on billboards and stuff like that in Times Square to kind of amplify like some of our, socials and things like that. So they really was trying to like make sure that people that wasn't getting seen can get heard and their channels can be amplified in some way. And then at the end, we had like a graduation project where you had to create a video, and then the video would get submitted to the YouTube team, and then they would like pick some of the best ones there. And yeah, I think that was the main thing, man. Just bringing together community, building that cohort, helping us out, and then also allowing us to. They used us to like do some research as well. So we met with like UX designers and stuff like that to help build out like different features for YouTube that's on there today. So yeah, it was cool. It was
That's hard, man. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of what you were talking about with the brand partnership deal. I'm sure you did not expect Upwork or CV. You didn't go into YouTube, hey, I'm going to get goals to get a brand partner deal, but you landed this opportunity. And that's dope, man. That's hard, man. I didn't even know that they were giving. I thought it was kind of more like they give you awards, but they also, not only are they awarding and validating Black creators, like they're literally investing in y'all. That's hard, man. I love the concept. I didn't not know that was a thing at all.
It was good. I think we might have been the last class. I don't think they did anything since 2022, honestly. Maybe they did 2023, but I don't think it's even a program anymore.
Yeah, that's hard. I can imagine. So another question, bro, I got for you that I love to ask people, and it's hard. If your life was a movie, what would be the key scenes?
The key scenes?
Yeah.
Ooh. That's hard, man. Like that happened in my life so far, or like if I were to.
Yeah, that happened in your life. Like, what would be some of the like hardest moments? What would be some of the most transformative moments, or maybe a moment or two that just like really stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I would say key scenes for me would be like growing up, that from like kindergarten to like fifth grade. No, kindergarten to like fourth grade. I think that was a pivotal moment for me.
Okay.
And then I would say probably the end of high school would be a key scene. A little bit of college, definitely. But then after that, I feel like that's where a good bit of my scenes would happen. So
okay,
I would say for one, a key scene would be, I don't know if you've seen my divorce video.
I did, and honestly, I didn't know if how comfortable you felt. But I'm glad you brought it up because I did want to talk about that, but I didn't want to bring it up.
Oh no, you're good.
Comfortable, so cool.
That would definitely be a key scene, that whole experience and that process. And then honestly, just like coming here to Atlanta, that probably would be, I feel like coming here to Atlanta was like game changer for me. So I think that would be a key scene, but yeah, for sure.
Interesting. So yeah, the divorce video, I'm actually glad you brought it up because I was interested in that. And do you mind talking about that? Because I thought it was very interesting. And it was very raw and real about the nature of your relationship, and do you mind speaking about it, because it was interesting.
Yeah. What in particular? Is it more so of like what happened or why I made the video, or?
Yeah. So what happened, why you made the video, and essentially for me, why I was interested in the divorce was because at the time I was going through a breakup from a girl in Atlanta. So it really helped me. I wasn't married, but it helped me cope, to be honest. What I'm saying? Yeah.
I got you. Yeah. I mean, I feel like for one, when it comes to that marriage, it was like based off of like a college us,
Okay.
Like so many people hold on to like who you are in college, and both of us was like forming into like our own selves of like adults. So we dated pretty much throughout college, and then a couple of years after college I decided to propose because it felt like that's what's the next step and what was right. But I feel like hindsight, we didn't align in certain areas of life. Like she wanted to stay in South Carolina, I wanted to leave South Carolina, I wanted to pursue like careers outside of South Carolina. She was very honed in on staying in South Carolina. And I think that caused like a divide in like how we can connect. And she decided to go off and make a connection with someone else while we're still married. So that's essentially what led to the divorce. But me being the guy that I am, I know that I was doing everything that I could. And I know that whenever you get married, it's like till death do your part, So it's like you have to do all you can to try to forgive and things like that. But it showed time and time again that this is not what she needed and wanted at the time. So I was like, well, I guess I got to move forward. So I was like, well, I'm gonna move. I'm a start my life over essentially and do something different. But I didn't think I was even gonna make a video about it. That video dropped 4 years after everything happened.
Ended up being your most popular video.
Yeah, ended up being my most popular video. But I was like, something, I'm comfortable to talk about it. It's not many men that talk about it. It's men going through it. When I dropped the video, I got so many emails of men going through the same thing and wishing they could talk about it and stuff like that. So I felt like it was the reason why I got so many views, because it was raw and authentic from a male perspective that a lot of people don't get. So
for me, I didn't email you, but I felt the same, like, man, like, because I was going through a breakup and it wasn't a divorce, but the same things were like, I felt like it didn't align, our characters didn't align. And the thing where I was I really related to you is I can tell you're like the type of person, if you put your mind or heart into something, you put all of it. So like the resistance to break up, even though you're kind of like, you don't want to feel like you're a failure, especially now that you're married. I'm sure there's another pressure into that. For me, it was like with my ex, like I was doing everything I possibly can to like make this work. You know what I'm saying? Trying to pray, asking my parents for help, talking to my friends for help, like doing everything, and nothing was working, bro. And like I felt that struggle with you, like you're just like trying to figure this out, and like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It wasn't working. Yeah, that's true. I think a lot of times, and I spoke about it in the video, a lot of times we as men are afraid to admit failure, like, and not to say that if a relationship don't work out, it's a true failure. But in my opinion, I was like, I'm the one that got down on one knee. I'm the one that paid this money for this ring. I'm the one that's, getting the blunt end of a decision that she made. So to me, it felt like a failure. So a lot of at that moment, I feel like I didn't want to express what was going on to many people. So I was like internalizing a lot of things. Maybe a couple of my friends knew, but I didn't express anything that was going on until it actually happened. Divorce and things like that. So I was like, this video need to be made, because there's a lot of people that goes through that as well.
Did a part of you like talking about your truth and like what was going on, like did you feel like embarrassed or ashamed about it, or was it hard to like speak on? Because maybe not necessarily because the situation is embarrassing, but because it feels like it's uncharacteristic of you. Like, for example, for me, like part of the problem I was having too was outside of the relationship affecting me personally. I felt like my friends were seeing me in a light that they never saw before, because I'm telling them about a bunch of stuff that we're not usually connecting on. You know what I'm saying? Did you feel that? Like, or not really? Because
I felt a little bit of that. I just felt embarrassed. Honestly, I just felt embarrassed. I felt embarrassed, and then also I just felt like a failure. And then those two things made me approach like telling people, approaching the situation a little bit different. But once I got through it, I was like, something, I'm over this now, so I could talk about it. So that's why I made the video. I was like, I'm fully over this. I could look past it. I could look at things that I did wrong, she did wrong. I could talk about it. And I wanted to make sure that I told my side of the story without disrespecting her. I didn't want to, like if you look at a woman divorce story on YouTube, they going all in and it's like drama filled. I wanted mine to be more so just my story, but also not demeaning someone else's character, just like what I was going through. So
dude, I'm curious because that's a traumatizing situation, especially when it happens at a young age, and how you did it. How do you heal from that? And how long did it take you to heal from that? Because you sound like you're in a much better spot, and like the way you look
Yeah.
at it is healthier and clean. How long did it take for you to like really cope with that?
Yeah, I would say it took me about 2 years to truly get over
Wow.
it. The
Wow.
first year was a little bit rocky because I was like, is this still like, are we like what? Like, it was like, I couldn't believe it was going on. Then the second year, I was like, okay, I'm finding my footing in Atlanta. I have a great career. I'm out here. The ladies want me, obviously. So I was like, okay, I think I'll be fine. But yeah, I think it took me a good 2 years to fully like just be like, I'm like, I don't even think about this anymore, for sure. But yeah, it was difficult because like I was with her for like 5 years,
Yeah.
6 years. Yeah. So you have to unprogram
The
like
5
this
years.
person and how you live and things like that, because I had to uproot myself from where we were at. I had to leave and go. So it's like I'm doing this without any plans. I'm just picking up, packing, and going somewhere else. So it just a lot of adjustments all at once. So not only was I going through that, I had to move to a new state, had to move to a new city, had a new job, no friends, had to figure everything out all at once. So that it took me legit 2 years to be like, okay, I got my footing together.
And shout out to you, man. And I'm sure you had no idea what the hell was going on at the time, but I'm sure like your younger self is happy with where you are today. Like,
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
I'm glad it happened, honestly. I'm
Yeah.
glad it happened. I wouldn't be where
How
I'm at
come?
today. Because I feel like I would have been held back of my potential if I would have stayed there. I would have, and some things, things happen for a reason, that was just a sign that
Yeah.
this isn't the place where you need to be. But if I was still there, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have been able to fully go after what I wanted, fully be able to thrive in my career and anything like that. I would probably still be in the same exact place because I wasn't with the right person, the person that I was supposed to be with.
Well, the interesting thing about relationships, bro, is I feel like relationships, romantic ones, are like the biggest mirror of who you are. And that's kind of my favorite parts about relationships. It's like a reflection of who you are and what you really value. And everything you don't value is probably gonna come out in your girl, and everything you do value or do like is probably gonna be a reflection of you. And you kind of have to like, compromise and really understand what's for you and what's not for you. You feel me?
Right.
Yeah.
That's very true. That's very true. But I do feel like that experience, I learned so much from that experience.
Same.
So even like once I started dating after that, I kind of knew what I required. Like I know exactly what I needed, what I wanted, what I needed in a woman to feel, prioritize, whatever the case may be. Before that, like it's just like college relationship. I don't know what the heck I want or what, like I don't know. But now after that happened, I'm like, I could really take dating to a phase where I never was able to take it because I legit know exactly what I'm looking for and what I need. So
no, I feel that, bro. Honestly, I can go on forever about the benefits that came from me breaking up with my girl, but personally, actually, the biggest one for me was my relationship with God. What happened between me and my girl, because like I'm telling you, I'm going to my parents, I'm talking to everybody to try to figure out what to do, and it's causing me so much peace. I'm like, bro, God, please, bro, help me. You know what I'm saying? And you start to realize like there's only so much control you have. I think for me, that's one of the biggest things I've learned from my relationship. I wouldn't say I'm a controlling person, but I would like things to go my way. And if things don't go my way, then I'm like, ah. And my relationship with my ex taught me that like there's only so much you can control. Hence, I started really leaning on my faith. So that was one of the greatest things I came from.
Same, man.
You too.
Man, God looked out. God looked out. When I came here to Atlanta on a contract, I was like, this contract might not get renewed. And as my contract was ending, I already had a job lined up. It was just everything worked in the exact same way that I envisioned it to work. And I prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and built my relationship with God as well, and just trusted in Him. Like I wasn't even worried. Like people said, you worry about your contract ending or you worry about having to move back to South Carolina? I was like, no, I think everything gonna work out.
Yeah.
I feel it. Like, I just feel like everything gonna work out. Like, I never had a feeling where, like, at any point in my life, I never had a feeling where things would just work out for me. And when I moved to Atlanta, it was strengthening my relationship with God. Every day I woke up, I just felt like this is gonna work out. Like, I just felt like, I don't know what it was. I just had that feeling, and still had that feeling to this day. Like,
That's hard, bro. There's, you know, when you're talking, it reminds me of this Bible says like, do not lean on your own understanding, but put your full trust in the Lord. And you know, actually, Big Sean said this. This is a freaking bar that I love. He said, when you're seeking certainty, it's because you forget that God is your security. I love that. Ooh, yo, Big Sean, yeah. When you seek
Big
certainty,
Sean,
it's because you forget that God is your security. And I think there's so much wisdom, and it's just a bar, but it's one of my favorite quotes I like to think about when, like, you know, we're in the midst of chaos and fear, and we're like, dude, what the is going on, bro? You know, and sometimes when we're trying to understand what's going on, I feel we're forgetting that, like, God is our security, you know?
that is so true. And I feel like if you lean in on that and you hands free, you know, you're gonna be in a better place, because a lot of times we try to control so much to the point that we control it out of God's hands.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you wanna take this off on your own?
Yeah.
You don't want to lean in on me? All right.
I'll show you. I'll show you. Then you get humbled. You get humbled.
You get humbled real quick. So, but yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, yeah, man. I appreciate the share, and honestly, just having the vulnerability to share your truth and, you know, your relationship issues, because I'm sure there's other men who are definitely going through this. I know it's not even a thing. The thing is, with men, like, we suffer in silence, and just talking about our issues, or like having a space to talk about it. Many men may not have that, or don't have the courage to speak up, man. So I think conversations like this just normalize it and start, you know, like, you know, just start the conversations and promote what that can look like, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's so true. I think there needs to be more men being authentic, in a sense that there's comfortability in being able to be, you know, authentic and truly voice what's going on. Because a lot of times, like you said, suffering in silence, things going on, house burning down, and you on the street just walking like ain't nothing going on. So it's like, you gotta. But I feel like when we can get to the point where we're able to be true and authentic, and that's why, you know, I try to preach that on my channel. Like, Corey that people see on my channel, the same Corey you're gonna get outside. If you happen to see me, things like that, there's no switch up at all. But I was able to get to that point because I don't have no regrets. I'd rather walk in my true authenticity and be truly human than to make this facade or things like that, so I could be looked and perceived a certain way. And people that end up doing that have so many on their shoulders and so much weight on them that it slows them down in life. You want to be light, you want to be free, you want to be flowy, and you want to be, you know, you want to have that energy when people, you know, talk to you, walk around you, they feel your energy. And I think sometimes if you're not able to be truly human and authentic, that energy is not going to show up the way that it should.
And I believe, you know, God created us all in our own image, and for us to not be that image is going to create some type of lack of peace, anxiety, depression. And I personally believe that whenever we're going through those states that are fearful, depressed, sad, whatever negative, we're not being in alignment with who we are. And sometimes it's hard to do that because we might be around in an environment or people who are putting us in a position to be ourselves. So, you know, that can cause it. There's so many things. Maybe your wife, maybe your work environment, maybe the church you go to, whatever. There's all places that can cause trauma. And I think we do. I think this podcast, you know, I aim to create a space where we can just be ourselves to the best of our abilities. And, you know, so
yeah, you create a great atmosphere on here. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, bro. And honestly, this was a dope conversation. And honestly, I'm very grateful for your time. And just you sharing your YouTube journey, your diverse story, your your time as a Google recruiter. It's been great, man. Is there anything you would like to promote or share with the audience?
Yeah, I'm coming out with I guess I could say this now. I'm coming out with a second channel. It's called Creative Confluence. So it's going to be a channel that's geared
Hmm.
towards helping creatives thrive on, the social networks that we have, whether it's
Hmm.
YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, just using the things that I've learned that work for me and sharing those in a secure place. I was gonna do it on my channel, but I was like, I'm gonna keep that as lifestyle. So I'm creating a whole nother channel called Creative
Yeah.
Confluence, and that's gonna be my new baby that I'm going to incubate
Oh,
from zero to hopefully, we'll see how far it
I
goes.
like
But
that. Yeah.
so yeah, definitely be on the lookout for that. But other than that, man, everybody catch me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Corey M. Jones 3, create lifestyle videos, self-development, vlogs, productivity, and really just giving advice on things that I've been through that I feel like other people can also benefit from. Because that's one thing I realized as I've navigated this adult space. It's like you don't know what don't know. And it's either you're around people that's gonna willingly give you the game or you're gonna follow people that's willing to give you the game. So I want to be that person that people follow to, get some type of tips and inspiration, not just, watching me live a great life, but also gaining some nuggets from it.
Yeah, bro. And that's the thing about this podcast is it creates a space for people to offer different perspectives, whether you're a millionaire, a real estate investor, a DJ, and we can learn about brand deals or we can learn what is the inside life of a recruiter, man. And you just never know how these conversations can inspire your thoughts. So thank you, man, for your time. And oh yeah, so creative confluence, which is dope. Uh, there was a time, didn't you have like a Tesla channel or something? Or am I tripping?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I did have that chat. Well, I sold that Tesla, so I technically still have the channel, but
Oh,
I don't create on there anymore.
okay, gotcha. Yeah, I was curious. I was like, I didn't know if that was your second. But all right, man. Well, creative confluence. Yeah, I heard it from him. If you want to follow him, go on his YouTube and his Instagram and show him some love. And thank you so much for your time. Remember, everybody, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. And if God is for us, who can be against us?